Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ever wondered why badgers are great? How to become a pirate queen? Or who earned the title of Glider King? All this and much more you can find in this timeline. Alright folks, today we're kicking things off with a story that's bound to make you wonder if truth really is stranger than fiction. Meet our first historical misfit, the eccentric Earl-Who-Loved-Badgers-Too-Much. Yes, you heard that right. Badgers, those furry little creatures that look like they've been involved in some serious underground digging operations. So, who is this Earl? And why the obsession with badgers? Let's travel back to 18th century England, to the lavish halls of Earl Edmund Badgerlove. Okay, that wasn't his real name, but it might as well have been, considering his passion for these burrowing buddies. Earl Edmund, a nobleman with more quirks than a kaleidoscope, had a thing for the unconventional. While his peers were busy hunting foxes or showing off their prized horses, Edmund was all about badgers. He didn't just admire them from afar. Oh no, he turned his estate into a badger haven, complete with deluxe burrows and what could only be described as a badger playground. But wait, it gets weirder. The Earl, with his flair for the dramatic, would throw lavish parties where badgers were the guests of honor. Picture this. High society folks in their fancy outfits, sipping tea, while badgers roamed around nibbling on snacks. Some say he even tried to teach them to dance, but let's be real, badgers have 2 left feet. Or is it 4? Now, you might be thinking, did this guy have a bit too much time and money on his hands? Perhaps. But there's a twist. Earl Edmund was also a pioneer in animal welfare. At a time when animal rights were as unheard of as a vegetarian crocodile, our Earl was setting an example for treating all creatures with kindness and respect. His love for badgers made him a bit of a laughingstock among the elite, but Edmund didn't care. In the end, Earl Edmund left behind a legacy as bizarre as it was beautiful. He showed the world that it's okay to be different and to stand up for what you believe in, even if it means being the odd one out. He might have been a misfit in his time, but today he's our kind of hero. Our next historical misfit is swashbuckling pirate queen, who made the mighty navy scratch their heads in bewilderment. Meet the incomparable, the fearless, the cunning pirate queen, Captain Grace O'Malley. Yes, I might have tweaked her name a bit for dramatic effect, but trust me, her story needs no embellishment. Picture this, the high seas in the 16th century, a time when most women's idea of an adventure was choosing a different dress for dinner, but not our Grace. Born into a family of notorious pirates, she took to the sea like a fish to water. By the time she was in her teens, she was already a master of the art of piracy. Grace wasn't just any pirate. She was a tactical genius. She outmaneuvered the navy at every turn, leaving them baffled and bobbing in her wake. How, you ask? Well, for starters, she knew the waters better than the back of her hand. She'd navigate through treacherous channels and hidden coves, places where navy ships dared not venture. But here's where it gets really interesting. Grace had a secret weapon, her charm. Yep, she could sweet talk and negotiate with the best of them. Legend has it, she once convinced a group of navy captains that they were chasing a ghost ship. They spent days searching for this phantom vessel, only to find out it was Grace all along, laughing from a safe distance. Her exploits weren't just about treasure and trickery, though. Grace fought for the freedom and protection of her people. She was a leader who commanded respect and loyalty from her crew, a feat in an age where women were often underestimated and sidelined. And then came the climax of her story, her audacious meeting with Queen Elizabeth I. Picture 2 powerful women from completely different worlds negotiating on equal terms. Grace refused to bow, and the Queen, intrigued by this fearless pirate, actually listened to her. They say that meeting changed the course of history, but that's a tale for another day. So, there you have it. The story of Captain Grace O'Malley, the pirate queen who not only outsmarted the navy, but also carved her name into the annals of history. Buckle up. This is the story of a man who dared to catch the wind under his wings. Otto Lilienthal, also known as the Glider King, was a visionary who took to the skies when most people barely dared to dream of flight. Born in Prussia in 1848, Otto wasn't content to keep his feet on the ground. Fascinated by the mechanics of bird flight, he devoted his life to unlocking the secrets of the skies. Otto's approach was grounded in meticulous research and scientific principles, but what set him apart was his unwavering belief in the possibility of human flight. He studied birds, understanding that the secret to flight lay not in flapping wings, but in the curve of the airfoil. By the 1890s, Otto had constructed his first gliders, which were marvels of engineering and design. These weren't your average kites. They were carefully crafted machines, designed to harness the power of the wind. Otto's gliders had wings that could catch the breeze just right, allowing him to glide gracefully through the air. Imagine standing on a hill, the wind in your face, and before you, a man takes a running leap and takes off into the air. That man was Otto, gliding over the German countryside, proving time and time again that human flight was not only possible, but within reach. Otto's daring experiments weren't without danger. He knew the risks, but believed the reward of human flight was worth every bruise and every fall. His perseverance paid off. He completed over 2,000 flights in various glider models, each one bringing him, in humanity, closer to the dream of taking to the skies. Tragically, Otto's story was cut short. In 1896, a sudden gust of wind caused a crash that would prove fatal. Yet, his legacy was just beginning. Otto Lilienthal's pioneering work laid the groundwork for the Wright brothers and all who followed in the quest for flight. He didn't just glide, he inspired a generation to reach for the stars. It's been an incredible ride, uncovering the stories of those who, while not always in the limelight, have left an indelible mark on our world. But our exploration doesn't stop here. History is brimming with misfits whose stories are waiting to be told. Figures like Hypatia of Alexandria, the mathematician and philosopher who defied the expectations of her time. Nikola Tesla, whose inventions electrified the future. Mary Anning, the fossil hunter who changed our understanding of prehistoric life. Alan Turing, the brilliant mind whose work on computing laid the groundwork for the modern computer. And Rosalind Franklin, whose contributions to the understanding of DNA structure were crucial yet often overlooked. Each one challenged the status quo, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. Remember that history is not just about well-known names and events. It's also about the outliers, the rebels, and the visionaries who dared to dream differently. Their contributions, though sometimes overlooked, are crucial pieces of the human story. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Your support helps us discover more exciting stories.